And that does it for this 5 o'clock edition of Eyewitness News. We thank you for watching. I'm Diana Williams.
And I'm Sade Bedouinois. Eyewitness News at 6 is 45 seconds away.
Stay with ABC 7 starting at 7 with Jeopardy, then Wheel of Fortune, Ugly Betty, Grey's Anatomy, Private Practice, and at 11, Eyewitness News. All right here on ABC 7. Tonight's preview is sponsored by Toyota.
If you're shopping for a car, you should know that Toyota has been rated the best overall value by IntelliChoice.com. That's because Toyota quality saves money. And now it saves even more. Come in and see your local Toyota dealer today and get $1,500 cash back on the fun-to-drive Toyota Corolla or Camry. Or lease Camry for just $199 a month. See your Toyota dealer now to start saving now. Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
This is Eyewitness News, the news leader. With Bill Ritter and Liz Cho, Scott Clark with sports, and Lee Goldberg with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Now, Eyewitness News at 6.
A teenager beaten to death at Rikers Island tonight, leading to a stunning discovery. Several guards are now accused of running a program that trained inmates to beat up and terrorize other young inmates. And a horrific accident. 2 toddlers are killed and several others injured after a van backs up over them. And good evening to you at 6 o'clock. I'm Liz Cho. And
I'm Bill Ritter. We're going to begin tonight with an unfolding scandal at Rikers Island. The indictment of 3 corrections officers after a teenager was killed. Just the tip of an illegal iceberg at the infamous city-run jail. Authorities now say the officers ran a violent, secret society that extorted prisoners and taught them how to beat up other inmates. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Lipoff with the story. He's at the Bronx County Courthouse for us tonight. Phil?
Bill, what's alleged in this 58-count indictment is unconscionable. As you say, correction officers teaching inmates to beat other inmates so that they wouldn't leave marks on their body and wouldn't get caught. It's unthinkable. But prosecutors say it's happened. It's been stopped, but not before someone was killed.
It's very painful.
Charnel Robinson hasn't stopped crying since her only son, 18-year-old Christopher, was beaten to death inside his cell at Rikers. There for violating his parole, on parole for stealing a cell phone. That's a far cry from some of the violent inmates who beat him to death.
These are not just animals that are in Rikers Island. These are actually people's children.
Christopher's mother is now suing everyone from individual officers to the Department of Correction. But while looking into his death, investigators found something staggering. Officers pitting teams of inmates against teams of inmates, allowing beatings, actually encouraging beatings through something they called the program.
Adolescent inmates were beaten for such things as commissary money and use of the telephone, and assuming they survived, were allowed to move up in status in the hierarchy they called the program.
The architects of the program, prosecutors say, correction officers Michael McKee, or Mac, as he was known to inmates, Khalid Nelson, or Nell, and Denise Albright, a.k.a. Mama A. Prosecutors say they would actually teach inmates how to beat other inmates without leaving a mark so they wouldn't be found out. They called it spanking.
He's not that type of kid, sir.
Officer McKee's mother says he's a good, hard-working man who could never do what prosecutors say he did.
They won't sink him in this. I won't stand for it. Because this thing, America have justice. And I'm going to find it.
These are the worst of inmates. These are inmates that are charged with assault on staff, that is other correction officers. They're inmates charged with assault on each other. They've come out of punitive segregation. Now there's a death. They're looking to point fingers.
Well, attorneys for the officers mount their defense, in part by saying you can't trust what these inmates are saying. Department of Correction Commissioner Martin Horn, while admitting these allegations are disgusting, defended his department.
I have not been apprised of evidence that this behavior, this sort of organized program run by officers, is going on elsewhere.
But to be fair, he admitted he didn't realize, neither did supervisors, that it was happening here either. To be clear, these 3 officers are not charged with Christopher Robinson's death. Rather, tomorrow, 12 inmates will be arraigned as well, 3 of them charged with manslaughter in Christopher Robin's death. These 3 officers are being held on bail. They're headed back to Rikers tonight, not as officers, but as inmates. They'll be back in court March 12th. Live in the South Bronx, Phil Lipoff, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Phil, thank you. A school field trip ending in tragedy tonight. 2 toddlers were killed and several others injured after a horrific accident in Chinatown. The children, who were just 3 and 4 years old, were hit by a delivery van while walking back with their class from the library. It happened on East Broadway late this morning. Tim Fleischer's at the scene tonight with much more. Tim.
And Liz, this is such a tragic story. Earlier in the day, it was a frantic scene after this van went out of control and jumped the sidewalk here. Tonight, though, as you can see behind me, they have set up a candlelight memorial for the 2 young victims. They did everything they could to save them. Witnesses say they didn't have a chance.
See 2 kids laying down on the floor, and then one of the guy holding the girl, and then the girl got the blood all over her head.
One of the victims, a 4-year-old girl, was killed at the scene. And as seen from Newscopter 7, the van that only moments earlier plowed into the victim and a group of her classmates.
He accelerated so fast that all you heard was boom, bang, and screaming and hollering.
Paramedics carried injured children, rushing them to waiting ambulances. Another child later died. 13 others were treated for minor injuries. The preschool children were walking on the sidewalk, holding hands, coming from a library, when witnesses say it appeared as if the driver was trying to make an illegal U-turn.
It looks like he either hit the gas instead of the brakes because he was coming unusually too fast. You know, backed up, jumped the curb, and banged into the children.
The driver got out of the truck, which belongs to a restaurant and catering business. Witnesses say he was too stunned to move. He's being questioned by police. Frantic parents, meanwhile, hurried to the Red Apple Child Development Center on Market Street after hearing about the crash.
I didn't know. I just had to leave work and make sure my daughter was safe.
Paramedics rushed a 3-year-old boy to New York Downtown Hospital, where he tragically died an hour later.
I mean, extraordinary efforts. There was our emergency room team, consisting of physicians, nurses, our EMS workers, all tried heroically to do the best efforts they possibly could do to actually save this child's life.
And tonight, the little 4-year-old girl has been identified as Haley Ng, and the 3-year-old boy as Diego Martinez. They both lived here in Manhattan. So far, at this hour, no charges have been filed against the driver. Reporting live in Chinatown, Tim Fleischer, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Boy, just pure tragedy, Tim. Thank you. We have some incredible new video to show you tonight of that U.S. Airways emergency landing into the Hudson River last week. Now, this video comes from a nearby Con Edison camera. The camera catches up with the plane just seconds after it hit the water. You can see passengers sliding out of the exit doors and onto life rafts. The camera zeroes in on a few passengers who are bobbing in the frigid water. The first ferry arrives on the scene just 4 minutes after the plane hits the water. Look at that. Camera capturing the drama is on the rooftop of a Con Ed building. This is on 59th Street and the West Side Highway. If you want to watch the entire video, by the way, you can log on to our website, 7online.com.
New York Governor David Paterson says he will announce his choice to replace Hillary Clinton's Senate seat tomorrow at noon in Albany. Meanwhile, the person who may have been the lead candidate for the job, Caroline Kennedy, has taken herself out of consideration. Kennedy told Governor Paterson yesterday that she was withdrawing because of personal reasons unrelated to her uncle, Senator Ted Kennedy's illness. Neither Kennedy nor the governor are talking about why she withdrew. Today, Mayor Bloomberg also refused to speculate.
Going into public service is it's a calling, but also it's a great sacrifice in terms of your lifestyle and impact on your families. And I have no idea what was going through her mind. I haven't talked to her about it.
Among the top contenders who remain, State Attorney General Andrew Cuomo, Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown, and Upstate Congresswoman Kirsten Gillibrand.
Meanwhile, this was Hillary Clinton's first day on the job as the nation's 67th Secretary of State. Secretary Clinton receiving a rousing welcome when she arrived at Foggy Bottom this morning. She offered staffers a pep talk of sorts and vowed to boost the morale and resources of the diplomatic corps.
I want you to think outside the proverbial box. I want you to give me the best advice you can. I want you to understand there is nothing that I welcome more than a good debate.
Later in the afternoon, President Obama speaking to one staff member in Indonesia and Vice President Joe Biden. They showed up, and the president today making news, a slap at the Bush administration, Obama ordering the shutdown of the Guantanamo Bay prison in Cuba within a year. Jim Dolan is here with that part of the story. Jim?
Bill, the man who admits to masterminding the attack on the World Trade Center, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, is held at Guantanamo Bay. So is Ramzi bin al-Shibh, who helped finance 9/11. The president hasn't decided what he will do with these men or others held there, but he says he'll figure it out soon. America, the president says, cannot be the moral beacon of the world if that light doesn't shine brightest at home. Just how bad is Guantanamo Bay? Mohammed Iqbal and 4 others could bear the beatings and the deprivation no more. And one night, they tried to hang themselves with their bed sheets.
We handled that on top of our cells, and we put inside a neck, and we tried to hang ourselves.
The 4 other men died. Iqbal survived and was later released. Today, he heard the news from the President of the United States.
We must recognize that America's strength comes not just from the might of our arms or the scale of our wealth, but from our enduring values.
And to that end, the president today signed executive orders that will close down the detention facility at Guantanamo Bay, work towards figuring out how to proceed with the 800 inmates still there, and how to handle suspected terrorists in the future.
Barack Obama took an important step to begin to restore the rule of law.
But some Republicans say the details should have come before the announcement.
And I'm concerned that some will be let go too soon. It could end up back on the battlefield.
Some relatives of those killed on September 11th say the new president satisfied the human rights advocates, but endangered American security.
Oh, here we are bringing terrorists onto our, mainland. For what reason?
Still, Gitmo must close.
We, the people, will uphold our fundamental values as vigilantly as we protect our security. Once again, America's moral example must be the bedrock and the beacon of our global leadership.
The president has given his advisors a year to come up with a plan on what to do with each of the 800 men held at Guantanamo Bay and how to handle suspected terrorists who are captured in the future. It is possible that many will simply be freed, and studies suggest that some others released from Guantanamo Bay have returned to terrorist activities. Bill?
The flip side of all this, Jim. Thank you. As we continue with Eyewitness News at 6 for this Thursday night, arrests and a stunning twist in a violent home robbery. Police now say the person who staged it was no stranger.
And a little later in sports, a major upset in women's tennis. Scott Clark has all the highlights, or rather lowlights, at the Australian Open.
And no, it's not going to be spring-like weather, but compared to what we've had, Lee Goldberg says it's going to feel like that. It's accurate with the forecast coming up.
Get out your chalkboard. It's Teachers Week on Wheel of Fortune. Celebrate these everyday heroes all week with us.
Tonight at 7:30 on ABC 7.
Playing Take 5, huh?
Who are you?
I'm Little Bit of Luck. And when you play Take 5, the odds are 1 in 9, so I'm all you need to win.
This could be the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Whoa, slow down, buddy.
Play Take 5 from the New York Lottery. All you need is a little bit of luck. What factors should you consider when buying a luxury vehicle? Should you put MPG on top? What about resale or reliability? The truth is, when you fit all 7 costs together, you'll see why the Lexus RX has the lowest cost of ownership in its class. See how your costs align at your Lexus dealer. Lease the 2009 RX 350 all-wheel drive for $399 a month for 36 months with $5,094 due at signing.
Coming up on World News, President Obama makes big changes in how terror suspects are handled. Also, why did Caroline Kennedy decide she doesn't want to be a senator? And the amazing Meryl Streep, nominated for the 15th time today for an Oscar.
You won't need this, or one of these. Tonight, try something new instead. Bird's Eye Steam Fresh Meals for 2. Let your delicious dinner cook itself perfectly in just 10 minutes. Tender pieces of chicken or shrimp, colorful vegetables, and pasta in tempting sauces. Ready in no time, without even washing a skillet. Now there's a new idea. Steam Fresh Meals for 2 from Bird's Eye.
Sometimes you can hear lung cancer in smokers before you see it. There's a whistling noise. It's the air racing around the lung cancer that's almost completely blocking an airway. By the time most lung cancers are discovered, it's already too late to operate.
Tomorrow, beginning at 5 a.m., the adventures of a father and daughter with a special power linked to the books they read. But will their family entertain your family? Join Laurie Stokes, Ken Rosano, and Bill Evans with the AccuWeather forecast. Tomorrow on Eyewitness News this morning at 5 a.m., right here on ABC 7.
Tonight, 7 people are under arrest for a violent robbery at a home in Westchester County. The thieves made off with the couple's Mercedes and other valuables, and police say the mastermind behind the entire crime was a contractor who had worked in the house. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Marcus Solis.
To some, he was a trusted home contractor, but Harrison police say Gary Pavlagian was the mastermind of a home burglary ring. Today, police charged the 38-year-old with setting up a violent home invasion last year that left this elderly couple with bruises and broken bones.
Gary Pavlagian did a job at the Schwartz's house, noticed that there were some valuables in the home, and set this whole thing up.
Police say Pavlagian and John Mandrakia recruited career criminals to follow the couple home from the Bronx, where they own a door company. Surveillance footage from security cameras showed 3 suspects being dropped off. The men stole jewelry and the couple's Mercedes, which they eventually ditched. The investigation took 4 months and led police to 3 states. Some items were recovered from pawn shops. The arrests stunned the 75-year-old victim.
I used to leave him by himself in the house. This much I trust him. I didn't. He was coming when he wants, leaving when he wants.
As the investigation went on, the Schwartzes put up additional security cameras as they struggled to recover physically and emotionally.
The truth, I was going to bed at night and I was really scared.
While Schwartz now has peace of mind, the suspects will likely face additional charges as police look to link them to at least 2 other burglaries. In Harrison, Marcus Solis, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
The man who was prevented from parachuting off the Empire State Building has been sentenced to probation and 100 hours of community service. A former TV host from California, his name is Jeb Corliss, back in April 2006, stopped traffic in Midtown as he dangled over the edge 86 stories above the city streets. Today, a judge in Manhattan sentenced Corliss to 3 years probation and community service. The judge ruled Corliss can perform his court-ordered service back home in California.
The Senate Finance Committee tonight clearing the way for Timothy Geithner to be confirmed as Treasury Secretary, despite his, quote, careless mistakes over his taxes. The committee approved the nomination on a 18-5 vote. The no votes all came from Republicans. Today's movement came one day after Geithner apologized for failing to pay $34,000 in taxes several years ago. A full Senate vote is expected to happen Monday. As for Wall Street, stocks finished the day lower. The Dow lost 105 points to close at 81.22. The Nasdaq fell 41 points to end the day at 1465.
So, break out the sunscreen and flip-flops?
Relatively speaking, why not?
It's all relevant.
Why not? Today was about progress. Tomorrow, a little bit more about comfort. 5-day AccuWeather forecast has one beautiful day in it, and then the bottom drops out. AccuWeather coming back soon.
Now you can watch all Channel 7 Eyewitness News programs in Spanish closed captioning en español. Whenever Eyewitness News is on, simply use your TV remote to turn on CC2. Use su control remoto para prender el CC2. ABC 7 and Eyewitness News, always serving your community. Siempre sirviendo su comunidad.
Closed captioning brought to you by Toyota.
Did you miss the Medicare enrollment deadline in December? Or did you choose the wrong coverage and now your Medicare plan is hitting you with surprise expenses, high premiums, and costly co-payments? You need to control your Medicare costs and switch plans before things really get out of hand. It's not too late to switch coverage. Call now toll-free 1-877-444-7330 to find out how you can still switch to a Medicare plan that actually helps lower your costs and your blood pressure. Even though everything else costs so much, GHI still has plans with $0 premiums. GHI covers you in and out of network without referrals. You can switch, but only until March 31st. So call toll-free 1-877-444-7330 and start bringing your costs back under control. The number is 1-877-444-7330.
When it comes to our family's budget, we have to make less feel like more. Didn't know magician was in our job description. Fortunately, for just a little pocket change, we can make a yummy grilled cheese with delicious Kraft singles. And because those singles are made with milk, they not only taste really delicious, they're really wholesome. Not bad considering we're working without a wand. Kraft singles, goodness squared.
It's a different world out there. So what's most important right now? Is it need versus want? Should we be thinking more long-term? Well, here's something you should take into account. There's one car that's been rated the most durable, long-lasting in its class. The Accord. Honda. Simple.
Lease a Honda Accord for $209 a month for well-qualified customers.
Right now at Pearl Vision, when you buy a pair of eyeglasses, we'll give you a second pair free. That's 2 for the price of 1. A free spare with every pair. Or a second look when you buy a first look. However you say it, it's a great deal. But this buy one, get one free offer won't last long. So to get your free eyeglasses, come into Pearl Vision.
Hey, New York, you've got a local contestant on Jeopardy tonight.
Start spreading the news, New York. I'm Luis Roman. Come out and watch me on Jeopardy.
Tune in to Jeopardy and cheer for your hometown favorite tonight at 7, right here on ABC 7.
Some honors today for WABC TV. Rebecca Campbell, our president and general manager, receiving an award at the Black Agency Executives 32nd Annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Luncheon. This was at the New York Hilton today. Channel 7 honored for its many public and community service programs, such as the Operation 7 Save a Life Fire Safety Special. Now it's in 11th year. Yep. And the Protect Our Children program, which is now in its 12th year. That's Rebecca. Congratulations to her and all the people.
Congratulations. Great. Great programs, too. We like it when you use the words progress and comfort.
I agree. Listen, it's just a little antidote to a little cabin fever tomorrow, and that's it.
And the bottom drops out.
We're not going there yet.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But you know what? I was just looking at this picture from Times Square tonight where, I don't think it's that bad out that it should be this quiet in Times Square. There's not a lot of traffic.
They're watching you.
I hope so. We're on the big screen down there in Times Square, right outside Good Morning America. We have what is a pretty nice night because the wind is backing off. In fact, I think it's actually going to feel a little bit more comfortable over the next hour or two than it did during the late afternoon hours because the wind is backing off. A nice night, near normal temperatures and less wind. Near normal is dropping to the mid-upper 20s by morning, but much of the evenings in the low and mid-30s. Save the best for last this week, the mildest of the month on Friday, and then moderation is just a memory by the time we get to Saturday as temperatures drop throughout the day. 35 in Central Park at 6 o'clock, a steady barometer, and this is good news here. There it is, the wind calm at 6 o'clock in Central Park. Today's high was 36 degrees, and that's just a shade below the average of 38 degrees. That normal high temperature now starting to climb a little bit. Yesterday, the normal was at 37. Sunset, of course, at 5:01 this evening. We go to Long Island, 27, West Hampton Beach, 30 Islip, a pair of 3s in East Hampton. Most numbers are around freezing. We do have some upper 20s and mid-20s through the Catskills right now. The Northeast, much different than the picture we painted yesterday with all the teens and 20s. Now we're seeing 40s and 50s off to the south and west. And just a piece of that air comes in for a quick one-day stay. And the 24-hour temperature change, a nice trend, too, 10 to 20 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. The clouds spoiled the temperature climb a little bit during the midday with a weak system to our north. We'll turn partly cloudy tonight. Same kind of idea tomorrow. We got a nice mild wind, but it's not sunny all the time because of this system coming out of the plains and also central Canada. So we'll call it a partly sunny sky, a little bit more cloudiness to the north, more sun off to the south. But you see how the east is fairly quiet right now. The stormy weather has now moved into the west coast. And indications are that not until, let's say, mid to late week next week do we get a substantial piece of this storminess to come eastward. So it's a fairly quiet pattern with a lot of temperature fluctuation. And you see how we're getting the piece of the warm air to come initially before more cold comes in for the weekend and into early next week. So only a one-day experience for us. A little more south down the East Coast, they get into a long stretch of milder weather. 45, milder melting tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, a milder breeze. Then look at that one wind shift. 39 is probably a sunrise high on Saturday, and then the numbers fall during the day, and wind chills are falling into the teens by sunset, and Sunday's even colder. Partly cloudy, less wind tonight. It's 28. Tomorrow's the day to soak it in. Sun and clouds, milder, recharge a little bit, 45. Then for tomorrow night, actually it's a really nice night. Most of the nights in the 40s. That 34 is really late at night into early Saturday morning. The temperatures again fall on Saturday, 16 at night, 26 on Sunday, 24 Monday. No storms there. but it's feeling like teens much of early next week. So it's all about tomorrow.
It's hard to look at the forecast, anything past tomorrow.
Don't. It's still winter for 2 months.
Thank you, Lee.
Scott's up next with sports.
But down under, it's summer.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yep, other hemisphere. Yep. And to be upended down under. It's happened before at the Australian Open, and it's happened again, but did it happen to Venus Williams? We have the answer for you coming up on Eyewitness News. Plus, welcome to the Legend of the Fall when we enter the highlights.
I'm telling you, you kids have it easy.
We had to get our internet from a phone company. And the phone from a phone company, too.
I had to walk 5 miles to the video store for the latest releases.
In the snow, uphill.
Remember when your cable, phone, and internet came from 3 different companies? Thanks to Time Warner Cable's Triple Play, those days are history.
Just count yourself lucky.
We got our TV from a dish. And our movies, they came on one of these. My phone bill was crazy. Different amount every month.
Crazy.
Crazy. No, not you.
With the Triple Play, you'll get digital cable in HD with tons of on-demand movies, internet that leaves DSL in the dust, and unlimited calling to the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico, all on one bill for less than $90 a month.
Those days were tough.
Downloading pictures?
An hour.
Or 2.
Buffering.
Call 1-800-646-0456 and get the Triple Play.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Attention asbestos victims in New York and New Jersey. Your case is too important to entrust to an out-of-area law firm. Whiteson Luxenberg is the acknowledged leader in New York asbestos litigation. Our experience and expertise in New York's complex judicial process is why many out-of-state firms refer their local asbestos cases to us. Your family's financial future is at stake. With over 2 decades of outstanding representation, New York's own Whiteson Luxenberg, who your law firm should be.
There is no angle on the human body that was designed for a collision. All the more reason there are so many angles on the Acura MDX that are.
Take advantage of attractive lease rates on the 2009 Acura MDX for well-qualified customers.
Right now at Pearl Vision, when you buy a pair of eyeglasses, you'll get a second pair free. That's 2 for the price of 1, a free spare with every pair. However you say it, it's a great deal. But this buy one, get one free offer won't last long. So to get your free eyeglasses, come into Pearl Vision.
Whoa, I didn't see that coming.
It's a crunchy hot wing with no sauce.
Crunchy on the outside, spicy on the inside. The sauceless hot wing is at KFC. Get a bucket of 20 or try 7 wings for $3.99. Only at KFC.
I'm failing. No big deal.
What about college?
Face it, I'm not getting into college.
Fighting doesn't work.
Can't let him keep failing.
Maybe he'll outgrow it.
It's not just a phase. You saw his report card.
Ignoring it doesn't work.
Ma, I said I'd do better.
Saying it and doing it are 2 different things.
Punishment doesn't work. What does work is the Huntington Learning Center. By improving basic skills, we build motivation and confidence, and kids look forward to learning. Call 1-800-CAN-LEARN today. Your child can learn.
This is Eyewitness News, proud to support the Protect Our Children campaign. Have you seen Caitlin? ABC 7 and Tri-State Ford dealers urge you to protect our children.
We're rooting for Venus Williams.
Everyone is.
Yeah.
Officials were at the Open Tennis Championships
Really?
in Australia. You bet. They would love a sister-sister all-Williams final in the women's singles. Wishful thinking. They've been dashed, for Venus Williams has gone down under, with the Aussie crowd showing support for our new president. The 6th-seeded Williams easily took the first set from Carlos Suarez Navarro, 6-2. But it was all downhill from there. The 46th-seeded Argentine was the far more consistent player. She even saved a match point in the 3rd set. The 20-year-old stuns Venus Williams 2-6, 6-3, 7-5. Say goodbye. Baseball's hot stove news is all about cooking big apples. The Mets and the Yankees are the leading candidates to sign free agent pitcher Freddie Garcia. Also today in New Hyde Park, Mets third baseman David Wright made a stop at the Schneider's Children's Hospital, where he spent some time with the kids there. We asked Wright about the 2009 Mets, and in particular, if he would like his team to make a move to bring Manny Ramirez to Queens.
I love the way he plays. I love watching him hit. He's an RBI machine. You know, again, I would hope that Anybody that comes onto this team believes in the system, and when you get with the guys in the clubhouse, we form a positive chemistry and go out there and win games.
Is that a yes? We told you yesterday that the former Met Jeff Kent was retiring after 17 Major League seasons. He made it official today.
Kids who might want to be a baseball player someday, there's a chance that you can play this great game.
It's always tough to say goodbye. We have NBA news. The 7-time All-Star Alonzo Mourning has decided to retire following 15 seasons. Last night in college hoops, the shot of the night came in the game between Marshall and SMU. Final ticks, tied at 50 off the SMU miss. Marco Humphrey gets a rebound and flings it from 75 feet at the buzzer. He did not call bank, but it still counts. Thundering Herd wins 53-50. We are Marshall. New York Football Giants have another Pro Bowl player. Zach Diassi has been added to the NFC squad as a long snapper. And finally, it's Thursday night. It is time once again to reach for the outreaches in sport. Yes, it is time to enter the highlight zone. Submitted for your approval.
Oh no? No.
Oh yes, achievement has been cast away, hands down in the face of finality. Rejection sets in. You try to work through it, only to fall smack dab in the middle of a melee in the making, in a dog-eat-dog dilemma. By the way, who let the dogs out? Welcome back to the Highlight Zone.
Yeah, I've been there.
Been there, done that, overwhelmed by the weight of the world in which you live, slip-sliding away to a darker world indeed.
Hey! Turn on the lights! I'm still here! Hey!
It's time to get back in the swing. Time to use your head and all that follows to say the magic word.
Hakashonoku.
And just like that, you save the day from impossible angles. Just let it fly, by the by, and redemption shall follow you home.
Maybe that's a good thing.
It's on your next stop. Up ahead, the Highlight Zone. Hakashonoku. I'm Scott Clark, and that's it for sports.
What does that even
Say it again.
Hakashonoku. No mistake.
No, that's what it means. Okay. Thank you, Scotty. Same to you. That's it for us for now. Thanks for watching. I'm Bill Renner.
And I'm Liz Cho. World News with Charlie Gibson is coming up next. We'll see you tonight at 11 o'clock. Enjoy your evening.
Bye-bye.